Welcome back to Factorio. My name is Nilaus, and we're here heading into Fulgora for the very first time, and today we're going to be settling on Fulgora. We have brought our little ship, we have a certain number of bonus things here we brought along, and we're flying down together with a few necessary equipment things here, and we're going to go back here. And we also have a ton of other things that we will be bringing down once we've settled it into place. So I'm actually going to be pausing thrust at this point, because we want to keep it in orbit, because we want all these goodies here. So I have naturally prepared myself for this, and that means we now have some robots, and we also have this. So now that we are on Fulgora, there are a number of things that are unique and relevant about this. You can only build on these small islands. I always bring my cargo pad with me because it works as a pretty good little radar just to uncover areas around it. We can see that there are these small islands that have immense amount of scrap, 31 million, and then we have bigger islands that don't really have a lot of scrap. So that's what has a lot, but because it's also a small island. So what we need to do is find a proper island where we can actually establish our base, and that's one of the tricky things. When we go out here in the deep oil sea, we move slowly, it sucks, but that's kind of how it is. We're then going to go over here and just kind of figure out, see whenever there's some land, and then go here, plop that down, get a little bit of scan around the area, and continue until we find some appropriate place for us to build a base. That might take a little bit of time. What we also need to do is we need to investigate this part. And let me see, we should actually have a new blueprint book that we should be getting in here. This blueprint book will obviously also be available to patron supporters. So if you're a patron supporter, you will get all these cute little blueprints available. There is actually one that I don't have yet, and that one should be, I don't really know locomotives. This one is also a blueprint that just takes, okay, not cliffs at this point. Not cliffs, because we don't have cliff explosives with us. And as soon as we take this mine here, the big Fulgora ruin, then we will get the first research on this planet. And we can grab a lot of scrap. The scrap can be recycled, manually recycled pretty quickly into just random crap. And that's basically the only way to get resources here, is to take scrap and recycle into everything else. And then those things can then be subsequently recycled as well. This deconstruction is enabling us to not delete these lightning tractor towers that are essential, because out in the wild during the nighttime there are lightning strikes which generate power, but also is sort of the enemy on here. I really feel that Fulgora is missing a genuine enemy, but maybe if there was a genuine enemy, I'd hate them there. So nonetheless, so let's see, what is it we want? We have now discovered, by just landing here, we have discovered the ruin. We get this, it gets some Fulgora vault ruins. We get the recycler, new thing, and also some Holmium plates, Holmium ore. Sounds good. And let me just check the ship to see if we brought... Oh, we did not bring the concrete as I wanted it. Damn. Well, remember to bring concrete. It's very important. And I will put that into the blueprint. Bring 200 concrete. It'll make your life a lot easier. Oops. I think I found my home here on Fulgora. Look at this beautiful island. Plenty of space, even for my chunky city blocks. So we're going to start by making a city block the way we've done before. And I'm going to go up... Yeah, this location and this location will be the two main locations, because I'll have a landing block and I'll have a hop block. And I think it's about just finding out how to build this. And then I need to build here. I think it might be like this, because I need to go 1, 2, no. There. Because I need to build it 1, 2, 3 roboports from the bottom. There we go. This is the one. It's not protected right now. What we really need to do is we need to make some of these, which requires stone blocks. So if we, if I cancel that, it's gonna go. I want to put it into the trash. I want to not do this. I want to make a few of these here, and then go back to farming scrap. There we go. Then I am going to build these here. Beautiful. There. And they will be fed by some solid fuel that we just happen to have a lot of. And then we'll get this going for some stone bricks. We'll get the stone bricks going. And the stone bricks will then be formed into the first of the lightning rods. Lightning rods will be our first thing we really want to build a lot of here. So they will be the ones protecting us from that damage. So let's go to our Fulgora export, and now that we have things, let's start ejecting it. We really want to get this one in first, because that is the stuff that actually gets us, well, allows us to do everything else. And that one could be also be sent down here. That's these panels, some more of that, and then I really need to get the first one going here. And there. Let's start building this. How does that look? I'm gonna build these on the side, and they're gonna be up here, and let's just make it like this. That should be enough for us to get going. Still no power here, and we will now be taking all this stuff out. So still no power, and that's kind of a problem. We should build the let's see, I do need the signals here, these there. Yeah, let's get a lot of these. And okay, so here is the thing about this design, which is pretty weird. That if we look at where are they? That one. Let's put this here. So these will give us some protection. Like you can see, there's a protection here. That one is protecting. That's the default one. But we need to protect it. So if I say this one, I go over here, and then go like that, then that also has to be exactly the same up here. And yeah, well, that means that now we actually need to get this one coming in. And that will need to go, then just go to Novice, and then it goes to Fulgora. So actually I needed to go to Fulgora. Before we can even really get it to Fulgora, we need something else. Here's another thing, and then we're saying that is here. So maybe you could be here. Maybe if I'm looking at this, then it has to be copied up to this location. And this one has to be copied over to that location. So now the question is, does that cover the whole? Yes, it does. It exactly covers everything in here, which is super amazing. And now these are safe. Whew. Okay, so now we're in safety, and we don't have to build them in the middle, because they will sort of buff each other and then exactly cover the middle. And they will still have some. Fulgora is complaining about this. Entities destroyed. Yeah, they're getting destroyed out here. But that means we now have a city block that looks like this. There. And then the next thing is we are going to get a city block also with power poles. Not this one, because we need that for some storage. Not this one, because we need that for trains. Not this one. Well, that's actually this here, right? Yeah, that one seems good. I really like to have one that isn't full of junk. This one. So now, if we look at this, we need to just fill it up with substations, or not substations, with accumulators, because accumulators will accrue this. So what I need to do is I need to simply just fill it up with that. Then all of these out here on the side will be harvesting, and then once that's being harvested, then it'll be filling up into the middle here. Built. And that will give us some kind of power for this one to get going. Now they're charging, and we can look at our power. So this is good. It's filling up the accumulator charge. That should get us a little bit of space here to get us going. And still have some of these. And yeah, we can't build them because they still need some explosives. What are they called? So that means the next thing we want to build is in here. And that is going to be, I'll build it here and here. Good. So what is this? This is going to be exactly the same as we've already done on Volcanus. So let's get this one from Volcanus and get here. It's actually going to be better than this because we've sort of refined it a little bit. So now I'm going to do here. Yep, that doesn't work. So let's go up here and take, now we can take all of this down. There, perfect. And you don't need to stay here anymore. You can go back, but there isn't really a whole lot you can do. Volcanics export is coming into, it's coming towards 4, so we have a little bit of a rush to get this done. So I'm going to get, let's see, that one is on the, so the red wire comes here. The red wire will be monitoring also the robot logistics, not for this, and the green wire here. Is that green wire? I don't know. That will be set requests. And those requests will be set here soon. There. And then it sets request here. But only for saying, okay, you're going to get all the stuff from Navis, but we're also going to get all the stuff from Volcanus. That's this one. And that means we will now get the cliff explosives. We'll get some calcite, not that we need it. We'll get some tungsten, not that we need it. We'll get some of this going, which we don't really need, but it's really nice to have. So let's have a look at this, which will be here, and that will give us some big miners, which we will need soon, and some foundries. I don't think we need it, but that's just one of those things where it's going to be left there for a little bit. And then we should be seeing that, yeah, okay, more stuff is being dropped. Come on, cliff explosives, that's what we really want. We want to see you drop the cliff explosive and not drop the science, because the science is here. Come on, why is that not being dropped? Then we're going to take another thing from Volcanus. Do we have that somewhere? Where do we put robots into the robot? Oh, there, this one. That one. And I'm just going to rotate it and flip it. There. Because that is now a good way to make this aligned. This will get something inbound. And let's see, you are going to go in here. Maybe not all of them. This one will go in here. And now we actually start seeing some things going on. Great. Things are going on and things are actually working just a little bit, but that's still a good start. Okay, we will now be able to clean up the spots soon, right? If we get some cliff explosives, yes please. Sweet. So we now have landed. We're somewhat safe. We got a bit of power. And we don't have any logistics chests. So we're going to fill this area with logistics chests. And this area. Good. So the first thing we want to do, if we look at our research here on this planet. Where do we see that? That one. That means we need to research 50 Holmium plates in order to do that. We got the Holmium because we found some Holmium ore. We got a little bit of that, and I can still do this one. So we're gonna do some weird things here. I'm going to get this, because this will also work for our rocket silos, which will be out here. Just as they... Are they like that on Volcans? No, I moved it. But they will be here on the side. But I need to make a small build, because what I'm seeing is, what we're seeing here, is that we don't get any iron and we don't get any copper. The copper can be gotten from the cables, if we recycle the cables, and the gears can be turned into iron plates. So we do have things that we can build, and that means we need to start making some of these recyclers. They are here. 1, 2. Let's just make 2 of those. Yeah, for now. Oh, actually, the funny thing is we do actually need a foundry. So it is good that we have a foundry, because we need 1 foundry on this planet. And that's going to be starting... Oh, I don't know. Maybe like this. So this foundry will do that one. Holmium plate. Good. So let's build this design here. We're going to need Holmium. We're going to need this. So the Holmium will be built in a 4 of these and 4 of these. And they will be making Holmium. There. First things first. They are only making 100 per... Okay, if you look at this. 10 per second, and this one is consuming 80 per second. So we do need 8 of these to go into one of those. That's pretty crazy. We will, however, try to put a little beacon in, which can be made like this. And then it will affect everything. There. That affects everything with the speed and the... So, that's first challenge. then we need to get all of this outbound here and here, and then it needs to go into that. The irony is that it's not going to be done in a simple way. It's going to be done in a very silly way here. Like that. That makes no sense, but it's actually, there's a reason why, and the reason is that, oh, why do we have, we should have green belts here. And there, and there. There. Because that is what we need inbound, and inbound here, and, oops. Inbound here, and inbound here. Great, so this is done. Then we need power poles. Yeah. Okay, and then I need to get stuff inbound, and that will be here and here, and then we can get this out on separate sides. This will be only making, and this one will be only making that one. And then we'll be requesting, I don't know, maybe 50 of each and 50 of each. And I can put this in, and I can put this in. So what happens now is that this goes in. The water is not there yet. So let's start by collecting this part. We will also out here, as we have done on pretty much all the other places here. We're gonna have some... It's really difficult without this, because this makes it so much easier to see where these are supposed to be. Because that's gonna be 1, 2 liquids, 3 liquids, and 4 liquids. And that means all of this can now easily be moved a little bit down. How much down? That much down. Because I know that I need to have space. There. Great. So that's going to be how it is. And we do need some outputs. We'll just put 2 outputs here. We'll also put some lights in wherever possible. So let's go here and here and here. And these 2. We then need productivity modules on all of this junk, which will obviously let it go slower, but Holmium is our main bottleneck resource, so we really want everything to be as accommodating towards increasing the amount of Holmium we can get. Right. This feels a little bit too close to the edge, doesn't it? It does. Maybe we are building this one just out here, just out of sort of curiosity, and then like this. Oops. Very important. This is water. Maybe we should indicate it what is where. This will be water input. All this will of course be consolidated into a blueprint, so it's much easier to find or to figure out what's supposed to be where. And that will be the liquid Holmium thingy, which will also be exporting, and then we'll need some electrolytes. So we're gonna get, these will merge together, and then I will do a pump outbound, which will pump out to there. So we get that out and to somewhere up. Sweet. This is working, and if we only had water, then everything would be happy. Good. So how do we get water on this planet? Well, it should be pretty simple. Pretty straightforward. And that is ice to water here. And I'll be doing. And it will simply get a lot of ice inbound. I'll just take 500 because why not? What? Really shouldn't have all of this junk in my inventory. It's just set it somewhere else. Great. Let's see. What are we? Let's have a look at this one. Yes, the ones from Navis is going to bring in consistently more construction bots, and I have set this up as 2000 and 2000, so that's also perfect. Great, and we got electromagnetic plants because we have now researched, made 50 of these. Great. So, electromagnetic plant, that is here. Then we have to go into making a supercapacitor in order for making that. But that's not really what we want, because now we can get this part here. Because this means the electromagnetic plant, which has a 50% productivity bonus, which is just insanely amazing. But it has the issue. Steel is something we can make from recycling. Blue circuits we get from recycling. Holmium plates we can now make. Refined concrete we can't make. So what we need to do is we need to make a hub out here. This one will now be increasing or including the here. So now I can take all that out. Explode away. Now, I don't know if I really like having this one here, but yeah, maybe I kind of do. I also kind of think that we want to have something down here. What? What now? Fulgora one is destroyed. Where? Oh. Is it not using these? And we don't have enough. Okay, so we do need more, and that is requiring steel and stone bricks. Steel we got, and stone bricks is the thing that I was just about to try to get some more of here. So that one goes in, and some stone bricks out. And this one. That's probably fine. How much we got? We got 800 of those, so we are starting to get some of this. Great. Unfortunately, this is not great now that I think of it, because it'll be spent on flooring, and I really don't like it. So maybe I just remove the flooring, to be honest. And that with tiles only. There. It's just a nice indicator, but it's also something we actually need right now for something more important. That thing being more of these. And that means we need more steel. There's somewhere we have steel. Yep. And then we can build a lot of these. And that helps keep us safe. Because you can't lose these all the time. That's just not sustainable. Great. This is now protected area. If we look at this, it covers the whole area. This is like the only way you can build these. What? Oh, these are double. How is everything double? Ah, because something is from blueprint and something is from a manual placement. Oops. There, now I've only done the ones that are in the blueprint, and it works. So we know that the blueprint is working as a method of getting a full coverage of a city block, which is incredibly lucky that I can do that. So, what we need to build now is the hub. And the hub has a lot of different moving parts. I'm going to build like a very basic version of the hub, and then that will be populating that one. So what we're building here is basically just to get a sense of all the... Now that's funny. Why did I click... Oh, right. Yeah, this one is actually supposed to be there. So you can see that I have not put in the requested chest for everything. Because if I do that, then they will just request everything. Right now, what we have is what we're bringing in from orbit and what we are sort of manually been processing here. So now the main point is that we need to see this one going here, and that requires some refined concrete. The refined concrete isn't working. It's needing some water. Water is coming. Lovely. Like this. So, water is coming in. Here. That one is working now, very slowly, but it is working. That'll get us some refined concrete. The refined concrete is, of course, dependent on having concrete. This is why I brought some concrete in along the way, because I know that it's necessary. And if you start building stuff like this, it'll eat all your refined concrete. Don't want that. Don't want that at all. There's also an interesting thing here, is that I don't produce steel chests. There is a reason for it. It is a little annoying in the beginning, but there is a reason for it. So once we have this one here. That is eventually it's going to be good. Refined concrete, and yes, so this one is actually fine. As soon as we get the Holmium plates, then we'll get the first one in here. I only want to craft one because obviously that's not... Yeah. Oops. Where is it going? It just went into this box and it go into my inventory. Great. Here. And then I build it here because that will now be the most important one to keep building. And I think this one got disconnected from the network. So we'll just reconnect it. There. And I want 50 of these, which is obviously a little bit much. Good. So what we now have is... we got the first of these. That's not good enough. We need to keep going and get more. So I need to get this one going. This will just be... I don't think I need to do this because I don't need that just yet. Right, so now with doing this, I'm going to get all of the scrap. Like a lot of scrap in my inventory, which will be, well, deleted. So I'm going to build a little thing over here. Once I have one more of these... yeah. Which I don't have because I don't have the concrete. This is why we brought the concrete. Cool. So I should be getting the trash, the scrap, and recycling it. Just to get a little bit more concrete. That little bit more concrete will go into that one, which will go into here. So what I want to build is something down here. A very simple thing. And then I activate this. Yep. So what it is I'm building is I'm basically taking my LDS in here, and they will go in to be scrapped, but only at a rate of, actually let's just get these, yeah, only at the rate of when I have less than 1000 copper, because I need copper. Likewise, I'm going to take my iron in here and say when I'm less than 1000 actual iron plates, put it in here. Then I'm actually going to take the iron plates together with the coils that we are potentially getting in here. There we go. Now I can do this. Then it'll go in here, and this one will only get the iron plates put into the green circuit assembler when it has more than 100 there. That means it'll always start to fill up over here first. The reason why it fills up over here first is because there will be some things that I just need to get going. And then once it has over 100, then it will go in here, and then it'll be sort of hovering between 100 and 1000. And then making some green circuits. Just some green circuits, because we don't have green circuits on the planet. Of course, we're bringing them in, so we have plenty. But I like to make it a little bit self-sufficient and then have it build itself here. Right, so now we are somewhat okay on this part. There's a few things that we need to do. For example, we would really like to get a radar going, because that means we can actually control how much of everything is going to be built. Nothing is getting built right now. Because it's just not monitoring how much is actually here. This will also be sort of sending to other places. It's actually not really as necessary on this one. So what we want to do is we want to get a steady supply of accumulators, because that's our only way to do power. We want to get a steady supply here. All of that is reliant on more refined concrete, so we need more refined concrete. I can do a little, I would say kind of a hack here before we build something proper. But let's try and see what we can do with this. Okay, so the intention of what I want to do is sort of in the middle. I put one of these, and I'll put this. Alright, so what I want to do is I want to get some of this here, and yeah, what? Oh, and that goes into a box like that, and then I get in these here. Just to kind of get it in there, and then we'll put some modules in each, just to kind of get it down to some manageable amount. There we go. So this just gets us random crap, lots of random crap, which is fine for now. The random crap we get here will get us enough concrete here. We'll now see that the concrete is moving in. So as soon as the concrete is moving in, it'll get into make some refined concrete, and before we put any more in here, we want to make sure that we get all of these builds, which means that now we have a 50% production bonus accrued. So the next resources inbound will actually generate two of these with a bonus electromagnetic plant, and then we can start sort of seeing them actually get into action here. While we're waiting for things to build, we're actually going to show a cute little trick. And that is, this one is requiring concrete, and this one's also requiring concrete. I want the concrete to go into this one first. So how do I do that? Well, I just click request on buffer chest. Now you can see here there's 10 en route for this one. There's also 5 in here. But then this one will decrease, and once those 4 are delivered, no more will go in here. It's really weird, but request on buffer chest, even though there are no buffer chests, just means that it's higher priority. Now it says 0 on the way, and there. So nothing is coming in, and all of them go into this location. It's weird, but that's just how it is. So if you click this one, it's a flag to say this requested chest is more important than the other requested chest that request the same thing. It's nice to know. So this is our very humble starter base on Fulgora. What we've done is we found a good location to expand. We built a city block pattern that works for our nice city block pattern shape here. They are. And we built these lightning rods to protect it. We have built a landing pad so we can receive. We built a Holmium, and we built the start of a little hub. We can't sort of build it, all of it, because it'll consume way more than we have, because we have very low quantities, and those very low quantities, they are going to be used for getting more of the electromagnetic plants. I will actually set this one back here so that it is not priority, so we can get some of the other ones in as well. And in the next episode, we're going to go onwards. If we look here, we're going to get the super... There we go. We're going to get the superconductor and the supercapacitor into the new science. Then we are going to expand down here, get some inbounds, and get some smelting and sorting columns as well. And we are continuing to expand our solar block here, or our accumulator block. Actually, I don't want that one at all. I think I want to put it into this instead, so that this will be the main one that we're working on. Yep. And there you go. And what we have now for blueprints is that we have these different city blocks. This is for the next tier. We got the normal ones, and then we're going to go into the next blocks next time. And yeah, so I hope you want to follow along. Remember, if you are a patron supporter, you get the access to the blueprints, both the starter blueprints and also the finished blueprints at the end. And you can also just dive into a save game so you can play along or snatch any designs you like. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for following the series. Thank you also for joining on Twitch TV/Nilaus, where I am streaming the game. I'm a bit ahead of the YouTube series, but I'll be taking random breaks there, so we have something to cover here on the YouTube series. Thank you for watching. Until next time, take care and stay effective.